Welcome to Screw the Commute, the entrepreneurial podcast dedicated to getting you out of the car and into the money with your host, lifelong entrepreneur and multimillionaire, Tom Antion.
Hey everybody, it's Tom here with episode 550. Can you believe it? 550 episodes of Screw the Commute podcast. I'm here with Mark Firth, and since it's 550, make sure you watch for our 55% off sale on a bunch of stuff throughout the weekend. So make sure you jump on that because these are momentous occasions for us. So we want to give you a chance to get stuff at more than half price. So we'll bring him on in a minute. He's going to give us a really cool method that he's used with his clients to combine several entity social medias with paid ads. And you know, I'm in favor of paid ads. I gave up on SEO years ago, even though I was really good at it, because this way you can control your destiny in a hurry and find out what works and what doesn't. So he's going to give us his proven method on that. All right, so hope you didn't miss episode 549. That was one of the series I do on phone automation tips. I use iPhone, but the same things can be done pretty much on Android. I just don't know how to do it. But the ideas that I give you are great, and everybody that listens to this knows how big I am on certain types of automation. All right, how'd you like to make big money referring my stuff? Well, you can make, just for one speaking engagement, you can make more than $5,000. So, and everything under that, we've got all kinds of products in all price ranges, and we never get complaints, tell you that. So email me at tom@screwthecommute if you're interested in that. And also make sure you pick up a copy of our automation ebook. We sell this for $27, but it's yours free for listening to the show. And this book, we literally estimated it about 2 years ago. And the techniques in this book have saved me 7.5 million keystrokes and allowed me to ethically steal customers from people too slow to get back to them, knocked my workload down like crazy, saved me carpal tunnel syndrome, and allowed me to handle up to 150,000 subscribers and 65,000 customers without pulling my hair out. So you got to do this. Check it out at screwthecommute.com/automate free. And while you're at it, pick up a copy of our podcast app at screwthecommute.com/app. That's APP. You can put us on your cell phone and tablet and take us with you on the road. Now, we're still in the middle of this wonderful program I got going. It's a pilot program for persons with disabilities to get them trained in internet and digital marketing so that they can legitimately learn from home and legitimately get hired from home or start their own business or both. And love to have your help on this. They're very inspiring people. 2 of the people in the program are blind and they're shooting videos. So I don't want to hear people out here listening, crying the blues, oh, I can't do video. Well, listen, if you're blind and you can do video, guess what? You can do video. Check that out at my school website. It'll be everything we'll talk about today, including Mark's great stuff, will be in the show notes. The website is my Internet Marketing Training Center of Virginia. Of course, you know it's the only licensed, dedicated internet marketing school in the country, probably the world, certified to operate by SHEV, the State Council on Higher Education in Virginia. But you don't have to be in Virginia because it's distance learning and good quality distance learning. So check it out at imtcva.org/disabilities. Go over, check out the GoFundMe campaign there'll be a link there for it. Anything you can kick in, we really appreciate, and those people appreciate. And hey, if you're really flush with cash, you could get in touch with me and sponsor a person yourself. And boy, that's something you can really be proud of. I know I am. All right, let's get to the main event. Mark Firth is here. He spent a large portion of his life working, oh my God, I have to cuss, a corporate, I'm not even going to say it, J-O-B. You know, that's blasphemy here on this show. In London, he worked for companies like IBM. Let's see, IBM stands for some weird stuff like I don't know what it is, and Siemens. Both of those, if I say what I'm thinking, that'll be an explicit show, which I don't want. But he left there feeling unfulfilled. Oh, I wonder why. And he went in search of answers. And an 11-year journey from the UK to Colombia, and that was he fell in love with someone in Colombia, and guess what? He started a family and then a business, and he finally made it into Florida on an investment visa, which I don't know what that is, and so I'm going to get him to tell me. And that was supported by his business, and he runs High Profit Consulting, which is also the name of his podcast, High Profit Consulting, which has helped hundreds of B2B consultants to land clients through a mix of organic and paid business strategies. Mark, are you ready to screw
Oh,
the
yeah, I'm
commute?
ready.
You
I'm
were
ready.
ready in Colombia, obviously.
Yeah, I've been ready.
So good to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you as well, Tom.
Yeah, I'm really excited about hearing this strategy you have. I forget how I ran into you, maybe on Podmatch or somewhere, but
Yeah, I think it was.
yeah, but I listened to some of the episodes of your podcast, and it was very intriguing because I'm the people on here know that I was really good at search engine optimization, the top of the heap for years. But it's just too much trouble nowadays, and it takes too long, and then Google turns one dial and you disappear off the face of the earth. So I'm all about paid ads. And then the other thing I liked about what I heard was getting them the heck off of there onto an email list. That's why I have so many email subscribers, and I don't really look that prominent on social media, but I don't care because the big money to me is in email. So tell us about what you're doing and your strategy.
Well, it's funny what you say to introduce that, because I personally do not ever, Tom, want to put, when I was in corporate, I had the fate of my family and, my life, in the decision of some middle manager who could fire me at whim. Do you know what I mean? That's
and he
safe.
was probably an idiot too.
We're going to go down there, but also fast forward to running a business. You see all these people running around in LinkedIn t-shirts and caps, and tying their identity to a platform which is really just a faceless corporate designed to pay a very few people a lot of money. I don't want to have to rely on them to show my content and restrict my activities. I want to, as much as possible, own my audience. I, as much as possible, want to be able to show my content to people whom I can help when I wish. And that ain't going to happen by just relying on the platform. So that's really where this strategy came from. LinkedIn and other platforms. You probably know the life cycle of a social media platform. At the beginning, they're all friendly, they're nice, like come in, you're welcome. As soon as they got that critical mass of users, it's like, well, we're going to charge you for this, we're going to charge you for that, and good luck. And before you know it, they're throwing people off the platform. And what's going to happen if LinkedIn decides one day that you're not suitable for their platform and throw you off? You're going to write a strongly worded letter to them? Good luck with that. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to build my list, and I'm going to own my audience. So that's really where it comes from.
That's exactly my philosophy. Is get them everything I do is to get them the heck off of the social media. I use them as a necessary evil to get them off of there into something that I control. Before we get into it, though, I got to go back to this investment visa thing. What is that?
Yep. All right. So as you can hear from my accent, I'm not from Florida.
You're kidding. You're kidding.
Did you get that one? So I grew up in the United Kingdom, a city called Nottingham, Robin Hood fame, and got a bit lost after corporate. Didn't know what I wanted to do and asked around, and some people said Colombia, so I went to Colombia. 10 years later, I'm married, 2 kids. We decided that it's not a place to bring up kids, no matter what people say about the United States, right? It's still the best country on the planet to bring up kids. And we discovered there was a way to get in there by employing people here and investing money in the country. So we moved our business over here, started investing money, started employing money, and they gave us 5 years. So there we go. And
so what did you have to do to qualify for this?
We had to invest. It ranges, but it's around $100,000, and that does not constitute legal advice, by the way. I have to say that. But if you're looking at a visa, but it's around $100,000. You've got to invest in the country that you can't get back, and you've got to prove it. You've also got to have a certain number of employees on your books, and you've basically got to prove that you're going to be a benefit to the country.
All right. So invest in the country, though. What kind of different ways can you do that?
Oh, for a business. This is a business-related
for
visa.
business.
The E2, it's a business-related
So
visa.
if you're going to invest
absolutely.
$100,000 to start a business or,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Things
okay,
like
there you go.
franchises, and people do franchises. They buy all sorts of stuff. It's just, you've just got to basically be legitimate and have a going concern, I think is the best way to say it. Do you say that in the States?
But what happens after 5 years?
Well, you either go home, it's a non-immigrant category visa, and I plan to go back to the UK. That's the plan. I want to come here and build my network and create a business and employ people, and then probably back to the UK. I'll be honest.
Okay, but do they make you? What happens from the United States point of view after 5 years? They
So
reevaluate you or what?
yeah, they can reevaluate you. It really depends. I mean, I haven't got that far, if I'm brutally honest. We only just got here, but a non-immigrant visa is a visa that's not tied to residency. So it does mean that you will return to your country of origin, and that's my plan.
All right. So, okay, so let's get into the. Well, tell us about the podcast first, and then we'll get into the thing. You just got that started too, right?
Yeah, so I believe in what I call reverse organic. I'm not great at organic marketing. By great, I mean I can do it, and I have done it, and I have built a business, and we can implement it. But the problem with organic marketing is it ties your lead generation to time. If you
Tell
don't
them what
do
you
it,
mean by organic marketing from your
organic
perspective.
marketing would be when you don't pay for people to see your content, you don't pay for people to see messages. All you're doing is using the free services of the social media platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. You're sending people messages. You've got a content marketing strategy. I started my podcast because not to acquire new listeners really that never know me. It's just to provide more value to my email list and more value to my organic audience. Does that make sense? That's why I call it reverse organic. People already know me. I send them the episodes, as opposed to what a lot of people do, that they start a podcast to try and acquire clients. So I decided, a lot of my list told me that they like to listen to audio content, and the statistics do back me up. A B2B, wealthy, affluent business owner tends to listen to audio a lot more than they do read books or do other things. So that's why we did it.
Well, yeah, and I doubt if you would turn it down if somebody heard you and
of course not
wanted to give you a bunch of money.
Of course not. Yeah.
So I kind of do both. Yeah, it pleases the people that know me and brings in new people. So I do both of it pretty much. All right. So this strategy, tell them I heard this strategy about using paid ads cross-platform, and I really liked it.
Yeah.
So tell them what that's all about. And pixeling.
Yeah, so
explain pixeling to them.
We'll explain pixeling. We'll explain all of it. So, as I just alluded to, I'm a big data guy. I don't tend to. I'm not trusting of what I see in my social media feed, right? Because anyone can say anything. I tend to look at studies. I tend to look at statistics. I tend to look at real data, and what the data tells me is that LinkedIn, despite what a lot of people think, it is not the platform where B2B decision makers spend a lot of their time. In fact, the statistics show that the average B2B decision maker spends only 28 minutes on LinkedIn versus 12 hours on Facebook. 12 hours is enough time for a transatlantic flight from New York to London, whereas 28 minutes is not even enough time for my coffee to get cold. And what does that mean? It doesn't mean that they're on like Facebook, like posting about, pictures of themselves in the gym or, talking about who should be the next president. They're not doing any of that stuff. But nevertheless, they do have an account. And where it might be on LinkedIn, they might be in a suit and a vice president. On LinkedIn, on Facebook, it might be a picture of their cat. But nevertheless, Facebook knows who they are and knows the websites it visits, because whether you like it or not, Facebook follows you around the web. Facebook, that's why when you go to a sofa website, you start seeing images of sofas. So all we did is we looked at this data and said, well, how do we solve this problem? People don't spend much time on LinkedIn. And by the way, the other piece of data says people like to do business on LinkedIn. And that's true. I think we all feel more comfortable on LinkedIn. It basically means it's a transactional platform. So that where they do the transaction, they don't spend much time. So how do we get to them where they spend a lot of time? Simple. We put the advert on Facebook. And then we push them to our LinkedIn profile. Simple. So we have a steady stream of inbound leads every day. And where the retargeting pixel comes in, just like Facebook has a pixel, when you go to the sofa website, you start seeing sofas. LinkedIn also has a pixel. It's called the Insight Tag pixel, call it what you want. They do the same things. It basically says if someone is tagged by the LinkedIn pixel, I can then put adverts in their feed on LinkedIn when they're online. And LinkedIn knows when they're online. And so I can guarantee that they see my content. So what that means is, what's working really well for us and our clients is the front of funnel. And by the way, the front of funnel I define as first contact when someone doesn't know you, is a Facebook ad. And then we're pushing to the LinkedIn profile. We get inbound connects every day because LinkedIn's obviously got all these restrictions around how many messages you can do. We get these inbound leads and we've got the ability to retarget them. So it's just a great recipe for any B2B business, because if we ultimately boil down internet marketing, I can't get many guarantees, but I can guarantee that if somebody doesn't know who you are and has never seen your stuff and is not connected to you, they're very unlikely to become a client. But if they have, they're much more likely. And that's what we're doing, bring them into our world that way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So just for people that are a little bit lost at this point about pixeling. So pixel is kind of, think of it like cookies, where you land somewhere and they know it. They know somebody, they know it's you, but they don't know who you are. And then you can create audiences, they're called, and then advertise back. That's why I'll tell you what, Mark, one time my girlfriend needed a bra real fast for some event. And she knew I had Amazon Prime, and she said, hey, I need this in a hurry. Will you please get this? So I bought this bra for her, and then bra ads started following me all over the internet.
Yep. There we go.
So folks, if you do what Mark says, bra ads are going to follow you everywhere.
If you want to see this at work, here's what to do. Who I'm about to describe, they are ruthless. And I know this because I just moved to the States. Go to a mattress website. After this podcast, go to a mattress website. You will not get mattresses out of your feed on any platform for the next 2 weeks. I absolutely guarantee. And then they'll disappear because they said it for 2 weeks. They'll follow you around the internet. Because if someone goes to look at a mattress, most people don't buy a mattress very often. The mattress sellers have got one chance. They've got one bite at the cherry to get them to buy from them. So they are ruthless. They will follow you everywhere. There's another one, Yeah,
but what the thing is that when you have an audience that has already done something, you can target your ad better to them. And so the conversion rate is bigger. Yeah.
Exactly. That's the other element of it, of course, that's so important, because we call it the buyer's pyramid. Some people call it the buyer's journey. There's numerous names, but whatever it's called, it's the same concept. Only 1 to 3% of your market is an active buyer, which means they're in market. They know they've got a problem and they're looking to urgently buy. And when you use the power of the ad platforms, you can get in front of thousands of people. So it's really easy to find those people, just like with a mattress, right? But when you're relying on 100 connects a week on LinkedIn, that's just hard work. You need to have LinkedIn, and it's important to do LinkedIn. And there's lots of people that still teach the messaging, and that's really valid. What we're saying is there's other ways you can pour fuel on the fire,
So give us some hypothetical numbers on leads that you and some of your clients have pulled in numbers wise.
I mean, it's a great question because, from the internet marketing world, we're so used to phrases like scaling to the moon and, all that biz opportunity, hyperbole. But to be honest, a lot of B2B consultants, they usually charge a lot of money. And to them, it's not something they want. They don't want a lot of clients. They just want consistency. So some people are going for a lot of leads. I go for about 15 to 20 a day. That's what I want, 15 to 20 a day. Of which about 12 or so come into my LinkedIn. That's enough for me a week. And we don't spend a lot of money on ads. And that's enough to have a nice business that's cash profitable without being overwhelmed and so forth. Because I don't want a scaling to the moon business. I want a business that gives me a lifestyle where I get to spend time with my kids and my family, That's my preference. So yeah, that's what most people are doing. Some people are talking about 5 or 6, but if you're doing 5 or 6, leads, let's say 5, let's keep it low. 5 leads a day coming to your LinkedIn, Monday to Friday, that's 25 leads. If you work weekends, that's 35. 4 weeks in a month, 4 times 35, 30, 60, 90, 120, you're talking 150 leads a month. Is there a client there? Of course there is. If you've got a decent offer. So it's just, as you know, you're experienced in advertising. We're just bringing in the right people and converting some of them. And those that don't want to convert, they can go on their way, you know. But to me, it's a much better way to do it than chasing.
Yeah,
Just the way I feel.
and for those wondering about amounts of money, I mean, you can start with like $3 to $10 a day, and to test it out. Even $5 a day is reasonable. And one thing we never do is, let's say, do $5 a day, and then it's starting to work a little bit, and so you jump to $15 a day. Well, if you do that, Facebook is going to know you don't know what you're doing. They're just going to take all your money because they're gonna put your ads in the worst places ever because they know no professional would ever do such a thing. The only drawback I see from cross-platform is that the ads are going to cost more on Facebook if you're sending them off the platform.
Well,
they
we
kind of
don't.
reward you.
Yeah, so we get around that as follows. The landing page, they don't go direct to LinkedIn. But there's a
Okay,
landing
good.
page in the way. And on the landing page, they go to a landing page. And on that landing page, we take email and SMS, and then it redirects to LinkedIn because you're right. So we actually get a number of different mediums to contact them, as well as them connecting on LinkedIn. We get email, we get SMS, we get the retargeting pixels on the LinkedIn connection. That's 4 channels. That's why it's so effective. They can't escape us.
What are you using for SMS?
I use a platform called Go High Level.
Mhm.
Go High Level is it does email, it does SMS, it does the landing, it does all in one. I kind of found with Go multi-channel, you don't want to have separate platforms. You want everything in one place. There are some compromises, but it makes life a lot easier, you know?
Well, I definitely know, because when I first started doing this, which is 28 years ago, the shopping cart was $2,000.
Yeah.
And if it happened to take the order correctly, we would have a big office party. So it was just terrible.
Yeah, I
And
bet.
and then when we went to put an affiliate module from a different company and make them work together, never did work. And then each company would blame the other one all the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, when you can
Yeah.
combine stuff, it's going to save you a lot of headaches.
Yeah, no, exactly. I had exactly that headache last year. It got crazy. I found myself having to pay someone every time I wanted to make a change, and it was like this
Oh,
big game of chess. If I change this, what's going to happen to this? You know?
no, yeah, that's crazy. That so much can be done. And a lot of people are so technophobic that they think, oh, I can't, I'm not technology savvy. Well, if somebody just points something out, some of this stuff is literally child's play if they
Yeah,
just tell you where to click. So I
exactly.
I tell people on their WordPress websites, if you have trouble, just go wake up a kid from his nap at preschool and they'll help you. So these kids are so tech savvy nowadays.
Yeah, no, I always say it's a story. We can tell ourselves we're not tech savvy, or we can say we're not tech savvy yet, but I'm going to make it work. And like you say, it's been simplified. It's not like it used to be, you know?
I definitely know. So we got to take a brief sponsor break. When we come back, we'll ask Mark what a typical day looks like for him. Does he have a morning routine?
Yep.
What's all that stuff, and how he stays motivated. So, folks, about 24, 5 years ago now, I kind of turned the internet marketing guru world on its head, and that guys at my level were charging like 50 or 100 grand up front to teach you. And you know what? If you give them 50 grand up front, you'd be chasing them down to Columbia to find them, because they still never help you. So I said, I'm going to fix this and make it better for small businesses. So I charged an entry fee, and then I tied my success to their success. So for me to get my 50,000, you have to net 200,000. Wow, guess what? People love this, and 1,700 students, and 24 years later, it's still going strong. And people know I'm not going to disappear on them because I want my 50,000. We have the longest running, most unique, most successful mentor program ever in internet and digital marketing. Been running continuously for 24 years now. And you have an immersion weekend at the Retreat Center here in Virginia Beach. We have our own TV studio. You shoot videos. And you also get, you heard me talking about the school for the pilot program we're doing for persons with disabilities. You also get a scholarship to our school, which you can either use yourself or gift to somebody else. And also, everything is one-on-one here. I used to try to do group training, and that was just crazy. I'd have to dumb everything down to the lowest common denominator. So everything is one-on-one with me and my staff. So nobody on earth at my level will even talk to you, let alone teach you stuff one-on-one. So check it out at greatinternetmarketingtraining.com, greatinternetmarketingtraining.com. Now, let's get back to the main event. Mark Firth is here, and he got grabbed up in Colombia with a beautiful family on his way, on his journey. Right? So tell us, Mark, what's the typical day look like for you? Tell us about the kids and the wife and all that stuff.
So we're still settling in as of recording. It's the 31st of January, and we only moved here on the 5th of December. So
wow.
That's less than 2 months ago. So we haven't really got there yet, if I'm honest. We're still settling in and shaping things. My daughter Sienna is 2, and she's due to start her kindergarten next week, and that's when the routine will fit in. But I have an office
They're going
here.
to make her wear a mask?
No,
you're in Florida. They're really against all that stuff in Florida.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be much mask wearing down here. I have an office, so I wake up, I take my son to school, and I go to the office. I try and get a run in every morning. I believe it's important to do exercise, if anything, for my health, and I do like to do 30 minutes of meditation. I find that kind of centers me for the day. Otherwise, I feel a bit out of it, to be honest, if I don't have that moment to myself. So with 2 kids, a business, it's very difficult to find that moment to quiet time, I guess is the best way of putting it. So that's pretty much what we look like at the moment.
Is
meditation,
your wife,
exercise.
part of the business?
No, she's not. She actually works in she has a job that she works for a company here in the States. So she's at home in the day doing that, and I'm in the office. And just after this interview, I'm going to pick my son up from school and head home.
There you go. And then what?
Don't know yet. That's a good question. Oh, today I actually work reasonably late. We have our group coaching call at 4:00. 5:00 Eastern, and after that, pretty much chill. We don't tend to do much in the evenings. It's kind of a military operation to get the kids to sleep. And any parents watching this will know what I'm talking about, or listening to this will know what I'm talking about.
Military operation. That's good. So how do you stay motivated?
I don't. You know what? I don't believe in. How do I say this? I believe people have to force themselves to be motivated. What's the best way to describe?
I don't need that, but a lot of people have things that they do, play mental tricks on themselves and all that.
Yeah. And if you read Tim Groover's books, the guy that coached Jordan and Kobe, he talks about mental tricks, and that's important. But I think there needs to be something that's pulling you as well as something that's pushing you, right? And Tony Robbins says we all do something more for others. We do more for other people than we do ourselves. And I think I just have a pull to make sure my family grows up in a good environment and they're safe and they're looked after. So I think I'm pulled rather than pushing myself. I think when I got started, I didn't have that sense of direction and purpose. But now, sometimes, look, I'd be lying if I don't have days when I don't want to get out of bed and I don't want to do the work, and that needs a push, right? And you have to remember it. But I would say for the large, if you're having to push yourself every day, that's hard. And it's very rare that people keep that over a sustained period of time, like, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. You've got to have something more pulling you. Does that make sense, Tom?
Yeah, I've been pulled for all these years, that's for sure. But
know that. Yeah.
So it looks like, I guess you found the answers, because your introduction said you went in search of answers. Answers to what?
Sorry, you're talking about my bio. Is that correct?
Yeah. You said he went in search of answers on an 11-year journey. So did you find the answers, and what were the questions?
I don't think we ever find the answers. Okay. I don't ever think we find the answers. I think I think just like personal development, if anyone's listening to personal development, I think it's a journey rather than a destination. You just find new questions. Have I found some answers? Yeah, absolutely. We're in a better place, in a better country. My kids are in a better school. We're better off financially. We've got a great business. So yeah, there's definitely some of them there. But I think that, you get where you want, and then new questions come, right? And then you start looking for the answers to those.
Well, that's kind of the way the only mental, I guess it's a mental trick I've played on myself forever is
Yep.
that I've never reached a goal because
Mhm.
anytime I get near it, it disappears and there's another
Yep.
one past it somewhere. Now when you were on that journey, did you picture a family in your future?
Yeah, I've always wanted a family. Yeah, it's always been a part of the future. It's always been a plan. So absolutely, definitively, beyond a doubt, yeah, I did, and I'm very grateful. I wake up every day grateful for them. My son's 5, and as I mentioned, my daughter Sienna's 2. So we're very privileged and lucky.
It's a military operation. I never heard that one. To
Oh,
get them to
it's
sleep.
crazy.
So how do people get a hold of you?
They can find me at well, obviously the usual suspects: LinkedIn, Facebook, under Mark Firth, or my website www.clientsimpact.com. Clientsimpact.com.
And they can learn all this stuff from you. You have programs and
Yeah,
stuff? Yeah.
we got programs, we've got free gifts, we got. I tend to give away a lot of my stuff, to be honest. We've got like process documents you can give to your VA to get LinkedIn going, all sorts of stuff on there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming on. I'm glad we met on Podmatch.
No, thank you, Tom. I'm so glad. I've really enjoyed the questions. There's some great questions.
All right, everybody, we will check out Mark's stuff at clientsimpact.com. It's Mark Firth, Firth, on all the social media. And check out all his stuff. And then, hey, if you want to do something you can really be proud of, give us a hand on that pilot program for the persons with disabilities. You will really be proud of yourself. All right, we'll catch everybody on the next episode. See you later.